Traveling to Consciousness, exploring spiritual journeys to find answers in uncertainty.
What is up, conscious monkeys? Welcome back to another episode of Traveling to Consciousness. As always, I'm your host, Clayton Cuteri. Today's podcast, we are talking about Indigo education, and we've got the atoms and the quantum that we are discussing. At the time of recording this, I cannot remember if we've talked about this before. However, in this podcast, we're going to talk about it again because my experiences have led me to knowing this to be a truth of our reality and the way our reality works and the way the energies work and the way atoms work. So I'm going to do it again. And we're also going to make it we're going to make it an IG live. So if you don't know, I go live on Instagram on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central Time. So you can find me on there. You can ask questions live as I record these podcasts if you so wish. And in this podcast, we are going to start off with like a little introduction, let people join the live. Then we're going to talk about atoms. Then we're going to get into the quantum realms. We're going to talk about some analogies that'll help you understand this a bit more. And then we're going to talk about how this relates to you, to your body, and how you can actually upgrade your own body to become a more powerful quantum. Because as spiritual individuals, we must become powerful if we want to create this new earth, this new world that we are so destined to inhabit. This is the only way that it's going to occur. So that is what the information is here. I highly recommend you join the newsletter. You can also get the 999 meditation challenge, which is a challenge to challenge you to do a 9-minute meditation every day for 9 minutes for 9 days in a row. I highly recommend you check that out. It's a very intro. It's like very basic, very intro to meditation, some ideas around meditation, and it'll give you a little bit of a foothold for what we're going to discuss and unfold. There's other things that are being planned in the background here that are very powerful. I'm very excited about those. But without further delay, we're going to get into the live. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you're excited because this is actually a very, very powerful podcast. So without further delay, let us jump into the live. You're here. I see you're eager to learn. So in this podcast, we're going to talk about atoms. Why atoms? Well, I know in my life, for the longest time, the question of intelligence has always interested me. What makes somebody intelligent? How do you know if someone is intelligent? What is intelligence? How do we categorize it? And if we look at our schooling system, it seems as though we've all been put in a box. We've been all graded according to a standardized form of saying this person's smart if they can get A's in a certain subject. And it's not true intelligence. There's many ways to perceive this, one of which is some of the most successful people in the history of humanity have found ways to become very rich, very successful, but yet the schooling system would have deemed them unintelligent. And I think we see that on the rise with the number of kids who are being diagnosed for ADHD because we are cultivating an education system that is incongruent with being human. You know, and I think the saying that really stuck out to me is if you grade a fish on its ability to climb a tree, it will go its entire life thinking that it's stupid. And so the way that I look at this is that we need to understand intelligence. We need to understand what the smallest form of intelligence is. And I remember scaling it back, right? Is like thinking about what is intelligence, you know? And I think the first way to look at this is in terms of what is it that something can do or can't do? So the best example that I could think of was like animals, right? That's the quote unquote proverbial step down from you and I, from being human as an animal, right? And we somehow think that we're more intelligent than an animal. Yet there are many things that animals can do that humans cannot do. So I think it leads credence or validity to the fact that there is intelligence within animals that humans do not possess. So then I thought, let's go a step down the proverbial intelligence ladder. and we arrive at plants and trees. And what really shook me was the idea of fungus, mushrooms, if you will, because there was a study done in Japan where they needed to fix their subway system. They laid all this food out on a table for the mold, for the fungus to go and select the food. And the size of the food was relative to the population density of Japan. And as this mushroom, this mold, this fungi spread out along the food pattern, it created a system. It created the most efficient system possible for Japan to mirror their subway system off of. Because in the fungus, it's like, okay, we have to efficiently find all the food, digest it to become more powerful, become more to survive. And so they found that by mirroring this subway system, by mirroring the way that the fungus was laid out and created their fungi system, their rail, their subway system off of it, they now have one of the most efficient subway systems in the entire world. And so why do I bring this up? Well, intelligence. The mushrooms, the fungi is intelligent. Trees are intelligent. Plants are intelligent. So what else is intelligent? And I think this comes down to the basic building block of life, which would be the atom. It means that at some level, every single atom is intelligent. And science is even proving this, because if we look at things that we deem as inanimate objects, my phone, your phone, the table, this microphone, there's intelligence within it. It knows how to be a microphone. I don't know how to be a microphone. And not to mention, science is proving that they're in probability states. So it doesn't have to act like a microphone. Scientifically speaking, in the next moment, it might not be a microphone, which means there's a level of intelligence for it to continue being a microphone. And so I know this is kind of a long-winded thing, but I think the important thing here to understand is just that there is intelligence that exists within atoms at a fundamental level. They're constantly in motion. They're constantly moving. Why does this matter? Why does this matter? Well, in order to understand the importance of this, because this is like the pinnacle, in my opinion, of spirituality, if you will, is understanding this, that every single atom is intelligent. Every single atom of air that surrounds me, every single atom in that flag. So take this to the next step. And this is where things might get a little dicey, because we're involving the word quantum, which people have, in a sense, bastardized, which, whether or not that's a good thing, I don't know. So I'm going to use that term because I think it is the best term to describe what it is that I'm trying to explain with this. So what I would invite you to watch, if you want a movie to dive into, to just pierce the veil, is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Now, if you haven't seen this movie, if you have, you know exactly what I'm talking about here. But if you have not seen this movie, the beauty of it is in the beginning, they're trying to communicate with the quantum realm, which is this realm that's seen as being below and beneath and smaller than us. And one thing leads to another, and they get sucked into the quantum realm. There's a device they create, they get sucked down into the quantum realm. Now, when they're in the quantum realm, there's a war going on. There's people. They're fighting. There's a government. There's the rebellion. There's the people in power. There's treachery. There's planets. There's solar systems. There's creatures. Everything that exists on this planet, in this universe, is also down there. Why this is so important is because every single room is in essence a different quantum realm. Now I know that's going to sound crazy, and let's use an example for this. The best example, the best analogy that I've ever seen in my life is if you go to a shopping mall. Specifically, if you can find a shopping mall with some luxury brands. Because what you'll notice is every single shopping mall, every single store will have its own quantum associated with it. It'll have its own frequency, its own vibe, its own energy. And this is because the atoms at an atomic level are creating a different reality within each of those stores. For example, think of high-end luxury brand store that maybe you've been to. Think like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Versace, maybe Tory Burch, something like that. Compare this to a JCPenney. Compare this to an Auntie Anne's pretzel. Compare this to a Gap. You can feel it in your body and in your mind, the difference. There's a difference in energy. On the physical layer, what we see, what we perceive with our eyes is that in the Gucci's and the Louis Vuittons is maybe there's only one or two items on the shelves. They're all spaced out. The lighting's different. The lighting is a little bit more different. The people who work there, maybe they're dressing a little bit nicer. There's more people in the more expensive things, so they give you a personalized feel. But then if you go to the Gap, you go to the JCPenney's, there's almost no one. There's an item in every size, all of them, right? And what this is highlighting is the different quantums, the different realities that exist within all of these buildings, with all of these shopping areas. Go to a Toys R Us, go to a Target, go to a Walmart, go to a Costco. They're all different. Now stick with me, because this is where it gets fun. If you got that, you're ready for the next step. I'm seeing some hearts, so that's a good sign. So we're ready for the next step. All of this exists within your house as well. Go into your washing room, go into your basement, go into your dining room, go into your kitchen. Every single one of these areas will have its own quantum, its own energy associated with it. The atoms will be acting in a different way because they're set up to be providing you a different energy in each of those rooms. And something that kind of always tripped me out, and I didn't really get it until like realizing this, but they talked in like modern spirituality about how doors are portals. And I was always kind of just like, okay, that's weird. But now realizing this, opening up a door, walking through a door, puts you in a different quantum realm. It puts you in a different quantum frequency, a different environment, a completely different world. And the layers to this, right? What this means is that doors are portals, sure, but realizing the energies. This goes back to how people talk about making sure your room's in order too. Because if you want a clean quantum, if you want a messy quantum, like that's fine. If that's what you want, that's there for you. So take this to the next step. If you're still with me, great. If you're not with me, go watch Ant-Man Quantumanium and then come back to this point in the podcast or the IG Live. Excuse me. Highly recommend that movie. It'll click. Where this comes back to is your body. Your body is a quantum field. Your body is a universe. They talk about how it's a temple. It's an entire universe. All the planets exist within your body. The sun, moon, Mars, Uranus, Neptune, Jupiter, Saturn, Venus, Mercury. They're all inside your body. You, who you are, who the experiencer is of this, is merely one atom. And you're a collection of quantums, of atoms, of a specific frequency that are giving you thoughts. They're giving you the emotions. to get you to act in a certain way, to get you to move in a certain direction. And this is where things like the power of now, of being present, come into play. Because if you're influenced by those thoughts, they'll keep trying to get you going down a specific path because they're comfy. They want to stay there, right? If you're someone who always gets a discount, always gets a budget, then they're going to try to keep you in that route. They want to keep you going in that direction. They want to keep you going in that direction. And where people start to talk about getting uncomfortable, going out of your comfort zone, this is where change lies, is because there's an internal war within you, within your quantums, your atoms, that are fighting to stay. So, for example, say you're someone who always loves a deal. You love getting deals. Doesn't matter what it is, 50% off, 90% off, the cheaper the better. If you go to a Gucci or a Versace or a Louis Vuitton, you will feel a war inside your body. Thoughts will come to you. No, don't do that. You can't go in there. It's too expensive. Are you crazy? It's insane. People spend that much money. Don't do that. Stop. What are you doing? Stop. No. Your mind, because the atoms that are occupying your body are discount atoms, cheap atoms. They won't let you go. If you're used to spending $5 on a meal, fast food, well, I guess nowadays it's probably up to $20 a meal on a fast food. You try to go to an expensive restaurant that you've never been to, your atoms will fight. You can't spend that much money. That's crazy. That's dumb. Don't do that. Blah, blah, blah. So the atoms, your mind, will start to fight because the atoms that you've invited in, you've eaten, you've tasted, will create problems. They'll fight. Now, there are many ways to take this knowledge and to utilize it so that you can upgrade your quantums, that you can upgrade your next step. For that is going to take a lot longer of a process, but I'll give you some things right now because I do know that I want to turn this into a course at some point in time, but I'll give you guys some pointers right now because this is very deep knowledge. This is, first of all, this is just the beginning of the iceberg, and I know I have a lot more to learn. And I see Shireen kind of coming into this chat. She's saying she doesn't have money. She can't afford restaurants. So I'm going to give you some tips in this, Shireen, okay? But first, go sign up for the newsletter. Sign up so I can be in touch, so that we can get you emails, we can get you connected. You'll know when the courses are out, so that Shireen, by the time you use these tips, you'll be able to afford the course, and then you can upgrade to the next level. The very first step in this whole process is you need to become calm. No thoughts, no emotions. The thoughts and the emotions, they'll rule the world. They'll rule you. They'll control you. Thoughts like, I don't have money, I can't afford restaurants, I can't do these things, it's too hard. Those are atoms that you've invited in. Those are thoughts that you have invited into your body, and it's okay. It was unconscious. There's no problem with it. This is the knowledge to get out of it. So the first thing you have to do is disconnect from your mind and from your emotions. Disconnect from the thoughts and your emotions. And become calm. And trust me, I know that is far, far easier said than done. The step one is to become calm. Because if you're in your mind, I can't afford this, I can't afford that, no money. When the opportunities arise for you to make money, for you to do these things, you'll be connected to the mind, you'll be connected to your emotions, and you won't be able to say yes to what your soul truly wants for you. So step one, become calm in the mind, no thoughts. Be calm in your emotions, in your heart. No emotions, disconnect from them. Be connected to your soul. Be connected to the thing that lives beyond time and space, the thing about you that's immortal. Connect to that. That has far more intelligence than your thoughts and your emotions. So once you're calm, start making small upgrades, very small. And I'm saying the smallest things you can think of. Now, Shireen, I don't know your situation specifically. I don't know, you're saying you're homeless. I don't know what's going on. You got an iPhone. But stay calm. Number one, you get into your head, the mind, the thoughts will create emotions. Emotions will create thoughts. You have to cut this off. You have to stop. A very good technique, I can give you this. A good technique is to find some grass, rub your hands in it in a circular pattern. Because if you're homeless, I know you'll be able to find some grass. Find some grass, rub your hands in it, and talk to nature. Nature is the one who's given me this knowledge. This is not my knowledge. I am not the owner of this. Nature has come to me and told me this knowledge. So I'm passing it on to you. Go to nature, find some grass, rub your hands in the grass. Ask nature to help you become more calm. Ask nature to help you improve your quantum. Tell nature that you're there for her, that she's beautiful. Because nature is our mother, right? We call it Mother Nature. And the primal instinct of all mothers and fathers is to care, to sacrifice for their children. So Shireen, 10 to 15 minutes a day. If you have more time and you want to do it longer, by all means, connect with nature. Connect with the grass, connect with trees, connect with the air. Tell her that she's the supreme, that you love her, that you'll take care of her when you become rich. And she'll guide you. There's more steps to this, but without knowing your specific situation, I can't really give you too much more. But the very first step is to become calm. Because anything else I tell you after the fact, it won't make sense. Your inner eye, your soul won't connect to it. So become calm. Ask nature to help you become calm. And you'll see changes very quickly initially, and then you'll need patience. So that would be the second step, is be patient. Connect with nature, be patient. But Shireen, I appreciate you coming in. I'm going to be giving these talks every Wednesday, 9 p.m. If you have an email address, please sign up for the newsletter. I'll be sending out emails on like Mondays, letting you know what we're going to be talking about in the newsletter or in the IG Live. And be patient. Everybody in this world thinks things need to happen quickly. If I don't do this in this time, I'm a failure. If, you're not doing something on a certain path, you're a failure. It's, again, the mind and the emotions are ruling you. So be calm. Shireen, just start off by being calm. I see that you're jobless too. That's okay. Ask Mother Nature. So maybe that's something, I don't know your situation, but you have to start small. So maybe you need to get a part-time job somewhere. Maybe you need to get a job at, let's say, like a Sheetz or a Starbucks, a McDonald's. And I know that's not good advice that you probably don't want to hear. It's advice you probably don't want to hear. You're probably you're worth so much more than a job at Starbucks or at McDonald's, and I know you are. But you have to create the momentum, which is a whole nother thing. Go on my IG. I still have all my things up. Over time, I'm going to be taking them off of my IG. But I suggest you go and watch my IG Live on momentum. I believe I did it with Shelby Moore, so you'll see a girl on the screen as well. But you have to create the momentum. Right now, jobless, homeless. You don't have momentum with money. You're a poor woman in India. Okay. You have to create the momentum with money. Oh, it's very cool. I've been to Mysore in Karnataka. Love it. I'll be back at some point. My guru actually lives in India. So if you live in South India, maybe I can introduce you to. But you have to start the momentum with money. So get the smallest job you can possibly get. Just get a job, any job, anyone who's going to give you money to do something. I know it doesn't feel good. but you have to start that momentum with money and pray to nature. Keep it simple. So that's what I'll start you off with. Try it out. See how it works. Shoot me a DM if you live in South India, if you're near Mysore. I can introduce you to the person who introduced me to this knowledge. But yes, grass, hands in grass, be patient, find a job. Okay, you're in North India. But again, hands in grass, pray to nature, be patient, find a job. Smallest job you can possibly think. It might not seem like it's doing anything, but it's starting your momentum. So with that being said, I highly suggest, Shireen, you also check out my podcast. There's a lot of Indigo education episodes that will help you with your mindset, with the education that really propels this knowledge forward. So highly recommend it. Traveling to Consciousness, just type in Indigo education, you'll find them. And shoot me if you're ever in Mysore, shoot me a DM, I'll connect you. And I appreciate you being here, Shireen. We'll be here again next Wednesday at 9 p.m. on my Instagram. I don't know what we'll be talking about. Usually it comes to me over the weekend of what needs to be discussed. But today, this was the thing that needed to be discussed. So Shireen, I appreciate you for being here. Everyone else that was listening, I appreciate you for being here. Hopefully, Shireen's story can give you a little bit of inspiration or thought processes and how you can use the quantum realm to expand your reality. Again, I'm going to need to make a course in the future because this information is very dense. And so with that being said, I appreciate you all. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you next week. And for all of you listening on the podcast, if you don't sign up for the newsletter, we're going to have a discussion about it whenever I see you in the 6th dimension.